Today, we will talk about transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is a prominent and widely researched approach that has gained attention since the 1980s. It emphasizes changing and uplifting individuals by focusing on emotions, values, ethics, and long-term goals. This leadership style encourages leaders to understand and meet the needs of their followers, fostering intrinsic motivation and personal development. Key characteristics include an exceptional influence that inspires followers to exceed expectations, often incorporating charismatic and visionary elements. Its popularity has been sustained across various fields, including management, nursing, and education, largely due to its relevance in motivating contemporary work groups amidst uncertainty. However, some scholars argue that interest in transformational leadership may be overstated, especially as millennials enter the workforce. The approach encompasses a broad spectrum of influence, from individual interactions to organizational and cultural changes. Despite its focus on the leader-follower relationship, critics suggest that this emphasis could limit insights into its impact on organizational effectiveness. The concept of transformational leadership emerged prominently from James McGregor Burns' 1978 work, Leadership, which emphasized the interconnection between leaders and followers. Burns differentiated between two leadership styles, transactional and transformational. Transactional leadership focuses on exchanges between leaders and followers, such as promises of rewards for performance, commonly seen in politics, management, and education. While prevalent, this approach often fails to foster strong, trusting relationships, as employees typically prefer leaders who exhibit transformational behaviors. Transformational leadership, on the other hand, involves engaging with followers to elevate their motivation and morals. Transformational leaders are attentive to the needs of their followers, helping them reach their full potential. Notable examples include Mohandas Gandhi, who inspired a movement for change, and Greta Thunberg, whose climate activism sparked a global response. Research indicates that transformational leadership can cultivate positive outcomes for both leaders and followers, enhancing moral values and psychological well-being. Through transformational leadership training, leaders can improve their self-efficacy and perspective-taking abilities, benefiting the entire organization. James McGregor Burns' concept of transformational leadership, which emphasizes raising the moral standards of others, poses challenges when applied to leaders like Adolf Hitler, who exemplified negative transformation. To address this, Bernard Bass introduced the term pseudo-transformational leadership, describing leaders who are self-serving, exploitative, and focused on power, with distorted moral values. This type of leadership prioritizes the leader's interests over the collective good, contrasting with authentic transformational leadership, which aims for social good. Christie, Barling, and Turner proposed a model of pseudo-transformational leadership comprising 4 components: idealized influence, inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration. This model highlights that pseudo-transformational leaders are manipulative and prioritize their values, posing risks to followers by neglecting the common good. Avolio, Reggio, and Sosik developed a theoretical model suggesting that authentic transformational leadership fosters followers' moral identities and emotions, leading to ethical decision-making and actions. They also hypothesize a positive correlation between authentic transformational leadership and the ethical climate of groups. Further research is needed to validate these assumptions. House in 1976 introduced a theory of charismatic leadership around the same time as Burns' book was published, which has since garnered significant attention from researchers like Conger in 1999 and Hunt and Congan in 1999. Charismatic leadership is often described in ways that equate it with transformational leadership. Charisma, initially viewed as a unique gift enabling individuals to achieve extraordinary feats, was defined by Weber in 1947 as a special personality trait granting individuals superhuman abilities, often considered of divine origin and leading to their recognition as leaders. While charisma is seen as a personal trait, followers play a crucial role in validating a leader's charisma. House theory of charismatic leadership suggests that charismatic leaders exhibit specific behaviors that profoundly impact their followers. These leaders, characterized by dominance, a strong desire to influence others, self-confidence, and strong moral values, serve as exemplary role models for beliefs, demonstrate competence, articulate moral goals, set high expectations for followers, and evoke task-relevant motives like affiliation, power, or esteem. Charismatic leaders evoke various effects such as follower trust in the leader's ideology, alignment of beliefs between followers and the leader, follower obedience, emotional connection to the leader's goals, and increased confidence in goal achievement. These effects are more pronounced in scenarios of follower distress, where followers seek leaders for solutions. House's theory of charismatic leadership has evolved over time through extensions and revisions by researchers like Conger in 1999 and Shamir, House, and Arthur in 1993. An important revision emphasizes that charismatic leadership transforms followers' self-concepts by aligning their identities with the organization's collective identity. Leaders highlight intrinsic work rewards and downplay extrinsic rewards to encourage followers to view work as self-expression, fostering confidence and self-efficacy among followers. In the mid-1980s, Bass expanded and refined the concept of transformational leadership, building on the works of Burns and House. His approach emphasized followers' needs over leaders and suggested that transformational leadership could occur even in negative outcomes. Bass conceptualized leadership as a continuum that combined transactional and transformational styles. He highlighted the emotional aspects of charisma, arguing that while charisma is essential, it alone does not define transformational leadership. Bass defined transformational leadership as motivating followers to exceed expectations by raising awareness of the importance of idealized goals, encouraging followers to prioritize the team's or organization's interests over their own, inspiring followers to address higher-level needs. Bass' model includes 7 factors, categorized into transformational factors, transactional factors, and a non-leadership/non-transactional factor. Further elaboration on these factors is found in his works and Avolio's book, Full Leadership Development. Transformational leadership focuses on enhancing followers' performance and helping them reach their full potential. Leaders in this style possess strong internal values and effectively motivate followers to prioritize the greater good over self-interest. Let's now explain the key factors of transformational leadership. 1. Idealized influence. This factor represents charisma, where leaders serve as strong role models with high moral standards. Followers identify with and trust these leaders, who provide a compelling vision. Nelson Mandela exemplifies this quality through his ethical leadership and transformative vision for South Africa. 2. Inspirational motivation. Leaders communicate high expectations and inspire followers to engage with a shared vision, fostering team spirit through emotional appeals. For instance, a sales manager might motivate the team with encouraging words about their integral role in the company's future. 3. Intellectual stimulation. This factor encourages creativity and innovation among followers, prompting them to challenge their own beliefs and find new solutions to problems. An example is a plant manager who supports workers in developing unique problem-solving strategies. 4. Individualized consideration. Transformational leaders create a supportive environment by listening to followers' individual needs and acting as coaches. This personalized approach helps followers grow and tackle personal challenges. Transformational leadership yields greater outcomes than transactional leadership, motivating followers to exceed expectations and prioritize the group's interests. Research shows that transformational leaders are generally perceived as more effective, leading to better work outcomes across different organizational settings. Studies indicate that such leadership enhances employee engagement, job satisfaction, and organizational performance, particularly when based on trust and mutual respect. Transformational leaders thrive in environments that emphasize learning and development, further propelling their followers' success. Transactional leadership revolves around exchanges between leaders and followers for mutual benefit and success. Unlike transformational leadership, transactional leadership lacks personal development focus and individualized attention to followers' needs. It involves contingent reward, where effort is exchanged for specified rewards, fostering agreement on tasks and outcomes. This approach is akin to a parent negotiating screen time with a child or a dean discussing tenure criteria with a professor. Effective contingent rewards hinge on strong leader-follower relationships. Additionally, transactional leadership encompasses management by exception, which comprises active and passive forms of corrective actions, negative feedback, and reinforcement. Active management involves immediate corrections, like a sales supervisor monitoring and correcting sales approaches promptly. Conversely, passive management reacts only after standards are breached, as seen in supervisors who provide negative performance evaluations without prior discussion. Both management styles lean towards negative reinforcement, contrasting with the positive reinforcement characteristic of contingent rewards. The non-leadership factor in the leadership model signifies behaviors that are distinctly non-transactional. At the far right end of the transactional-transformational continuum lies laissez-faire leadership, which is characterized by a hands-off approach. Leaders who adopt this style tend to abdicate responsibility, delay decision-making, provide little to no feedback, and make minimal efforts to assist their followers, resulting in a lack of exchange and personal growth opportunities for their team members. An example of laissez-faire leadership can be seen in the president of a small manufacturing firm who avoids meetings with plant supervisors, lacks a long-term strategic plan, and maintains a detached demeanor with employees. While this leadership style has typically been viewed negatively, recent research suggests that it may not merely indicate a lack of leadership. Instead, it can be a strategic choice that acknowledges followers' abilities, promotes their self-determination, and decreases their dependency on the leader. Moreover, studies indicate that leaders may achieve greater effectiveness by blending transformational leadership behaviors with elements of both laissez-faire and transactional leadership. This approach emphasizes the idea that effective leadership often requires a combination of various styles, allowing leaders to adapt to the unique needs of their followers, tasks, and environmental pressures. The rise of transformational leadership has led to the development of various assessments, notably the Multi-Factor Leadership Questionnaire, MLQ, created by BASE in 1985. This tool was based on interviews with 70 senior executives in South Africa, focusing on leaders who inspired broader goals and altruism. The MLQ measures followers' perceptions of leadership behaviors across 9 factors in the full range of leadership model. Research by Antonakis, Avolio, and Sivasubramaniam in 2003 confirmed the MLQ's strong validity, while Hinkin and Schriesheim in 2008 improved its reliability. Over time, the MLQ has been revised for enhanced effectiveness. Studies summarized by Bryman in 1992 and Bass and Avolio in 1994 indicate that the charisma and motivation factors are most positively linked to outcomes, while individualized consideration and intellectual stimulation also play significant roles. Conversely, passive management by exception is somewhat related to outcomes. Active management is negatively related, and laissez-faire leadership tends to result in negative organizational outcomes. Bennis and Nanis in 2007 interviewed 90 leaders to uncover strategies for transforming organizations, identifying 4 key approaches. 1. Clear vision. Transforming leaders create a compelling vision of the future that is attractive, realistic, and beneficial. This vision helps followers understand their role within the organization and fosters a sense of empowerment. The vision should stem from the needs of the organization and be embraced by both leaders and followers. 2. Social architecture. Leaders act as social architects by shaping the shared values and norms within their organizations. They communicate a direction that fosters a new group identity and philosophy, effectively mobilizing people towards collective goals. 3. Trust building. Effective leaders establish trust by being clear and consistent in their positions, even amidst uncertainty. Building trust gives the organization a sense of integrity and a healthy identity. 4. Creative self-deployment. Transforming leaders possess a strong understanding of their strengths and weaknesses, focusing on their positives. This self-awareness allows them to engage deeply with their tasks and goals, encouraging confidence and high expectations among followers. They also prioritize continuous learning, promoting an educational environment. In fact, Bennis and Nanis argue that transformational leaders guide organizations toward future states, create opportunities, and instill commitment to change and new cultural strategies. Cowses and Posner in 2002 and 2017 developed a leadership model based on interviews with over 1,300 managers about their personal best leadership experiences. They identified 5 fundamental practices that enable leaders to achieve extraordinary results. 1. Model the way. Leaders must clarify their values and lead by example, following through on promises and affirming shared values. 2. Inspire a shared vision. Effective leaders create and communicate compelling visions that motivate others to pursue positive outcomes and realize their dreams. 3. Challenge the process. Leaders must be willing to innovate and take risks, stepping beyond the status quo to foster growth and improvement. 4. Enable others to act. Outstanding leaders build trust and collaboration, valuing diverse perspectives and empowering others to make decisions, thereby creating a supportive work environment. 5. Encourage the heart. Effective leaders recognize and celebrate the accomplishments of others, fostering a sense of community and collective identity. Cowses and Posner emphasize that these practices are accessible to anyone and reject the notion that leadership is a trait reserved for a select few. They created the Leadership Practices Inventory, OPI, a 360-degree assessment tool that evaluates leadership competencies. The LPI has demonstrated good reliability and is positively linked to employee engagement and perceptions of leader effectiveness. Okay, now the question we have is, how does the transformational leadership approach work? The transformational leadership approach encompasses various aspects of the leadership process, focusing on initiating and implementing significant changes within organizations. Transformational leaders aim to empower and nurture followers, encouraging them to transcend self-interests for the collective good. Research by Jung, Chao, and Wu in 2003 demonstrated a direct link between transformational leadership and organizational innovation, fostering empowerment and a culture of experimentation within companies. Key characteristics of transformational leaders include being strong role models with well-defined moral values and a self-assured identity. They exhibit confidence, competence, and articulate strong ideals while actively listening to and respecting differing perspectives. This engenders trust and cooperation between leaders and followers, inspiring followers to emulate their behavior and beliefs. A vital aspect of transformational leadership involves creating a shared vision that aligns with the interests of individuals and units within the organization. This vision serves as a guiding beacon, offering direction, meaning, and identity to the organization and its members. Additionally, it enhances followers' sense of belonging and self-efficacy. Transformational leaders act as social architects, delineating the evolving values and norms within the organization and helping shape its culture. By interpreting and influencing shared meanings, they clarify roles and contributions, fostering a sense of purpose and unity among members. Collaboration, trust-building, encouragement, and celebration of achievements are integral components of transformational leadership, ultimately leading individuals to feel valued and connected to the organization's collective goals. Transformational leaders leave a lasting impact, often remembered as special individuals who inspired personal growth and development. By entrusting followers with space for experimentation and growth, these leaders elevate individuals to become better versions of themselves, fostering a positive environment conducive to personal and organizational advancement. The transformational approach to leadership has several notable strengths. 1. Extensive research. It has been widely studied from multiple perspectives, including qualitative analyses of prominent leaders. Significant portions of academic literature focus on transformational leadership, highlighting its relevance in leadership research since the 1970s. 2. Intuitive appeal. The concept resonates with societal views of leadership, portraying leaders as advocates for change who provide a compelling vision for the future. This alignment with popular perceptions enhances its attractiveness. 3. Process-oriented. Transformational leadership emphasizes the interaction between leaders and followers, recognizing that leadership is not solely the leader's responsibility. This approach highlights the importance of understanding and addressing followers' needs. 4. Broader perspective. It complements other leadership models by incorporating both transactional elements, like reward exchange, and a focus on follower development and growth, offering a more comprehensive view of leadership. 5. Moral dimension. Transformational leadership stresses the moral responsibilities of leaders, motivating followers to transcend self-interest for the greater good. This moral focus distinguishes it from other leadership styles. 6. Proven effectiveness. Research indicates that transformational leadership is correlated with positive outcomes, including increased follower satisfaction, motivation, and performance. It has also been shown to contribute to leaders' personal growth. In fact, the transformational approach is characterized by its emphasis on empowering followers, fostering ethical standards, and promoting a collaborative leadership process. Transformational leadership has several notable weaknesses. 1. Lack of conceptual clarity. Critics argue that transformational leadership lacks a precise definition and well-defined causal models, leading to confusion about its parameters. Research shows significant overlap among its key dimensions. The 4 is raising questions about their distinctiveness. 2. Measurement issues. The commonly used multi-factor leadership questionnaire, MLQ, has faced validity challenges, with overlapping factors and correlations with transactional leadership, complicating the understanding of transformational leadership. Alternative measurement perspectives, like narrative approaches, have been suggested. 3. Trait versus behavior. Transformational leadership is often perceived as a personality trait, rather than a set of behaviors that can be learned. This can complicate training efforts and reinforce the idea that only certain individuals possess transformational qualities. 4. Causal links. While associated with positive outcomes, there is insufficient evidence to establish clear causal relationships between transformational leadership and actual changes in followers or organizations. 5. Perceived elitism. Critics argue that transformational leadership can appear elitist, focusing on leaders at the top and potentially sidelining followers' needs. This can create a perception of leaders acting independently of their followers. 6. Heroic leadership bias. The approach tends to emphasize the leader's role in inspiring followers, overlooking the importance of shared leadership and reciprocal influence between leaders and followers. 7. Potential for abuse. Transformational leadership's focus on changing values raises concerns about who determines the better vision. There is a risk of charismatic leaders leading followers toward harmful ends, necessitating vigilance from followers. 8. Cultural limitations. The effectiveness of transformational leadership may vary across cultures. Evidence suggests it is more effective in certain regions, for example Africa and South America, than in developed economies like Western Europe and North America. 9. Millennial reception. Millennials may resist transformational leadership because of their individualistic values, preferences for work-life balance, and expectations for frequent promotions, which can conflict with the collaborative nature of transformational approaches. In fact, while transformational leadership has its strengths, these criticisms highlight significant areas for further research and consideration in practice. Transformational leadership offers a broad framework rather than a prescriptive model, focusing on general characteristics typical of leaders in transformative contexts. Unlike other approaches, such as the situational approach, it does not specify exact actions for leaders to take in particular situations. Instead, it emphasizes ideals, inspiration, innovation, and individual concerns, requiring leaders to be aware of how their behaviors align with followers' needs and organizational dynamics. Bases and Avolio in 1990 argue that transformational leadership can be taught at all organizational levels and can positively impact performance. It can be applied in various areas, including recruitment, training, team development, and decision-making. Training programs often involve assessments like the Multi-Factor Leadership Questionnaire, MLQ, to help leaders identify their strengths and weaknesses. This feedback can guide improvements in areas such as goal expression, nurturing followers, and openness to differing viewpoints. A significant focus of training is on building a vision, where leaders articulate their future plans and organizational directions. Additionally, enhancing individual consideration and promoting intellectual stimulation are emphasized, particularly for lower-level leaders. In fact, transformational leadership provides a comprehensive understanding of a leader's behaviors, bridging transactional and transformational leadership styles. This framework can be applied to real-world leadership examples for practical insights.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.